Are we gonna have as many vendors as we had last year?
No, because one had died, one moved away, and another one's husband is very, very sick, and he's home now. But, I don't know if she's done enough. He stayed in the hospital almost 2 months.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
she stayed right there with him, you know? And, so anyway, there you go. So who'd you say lost a lot of weight?
Odell.
Wendell. Wendell Kane.
He has?
Mm-hmm.
I know his wife has, cause she really looks like she's lost weight.
I hadn't seen him, but I saw a recent picture of him.
Yeah, I saw him today, he was walking, she looked the same to me, but he looked like he had lost weight.
Well, she's, I don't know.
I almost called you last night to go walk out with him.
Oh, what was it? I was crazy.
I didn't know.
Oh,
It's like,
what,
they don't wanna go at the same time.
what kind of file was that for the budget,
It was just kind of a little short.
the spending and the, or the
I
expenditure?
took it 3
What kind
times.
of file was it?
I'm sure. The one downtown.
You know, my tablet couldn't open it,
Around the depot and came back.
so I had to go back and review it
How you all doing?
I don't know, Michelle sent
on
it.
my computer.
Hey, Miss Louise.
It's a
how you
PDF.
doing?
PDF?
Nobody didn't.
I was there.
PDF file. I can send it a different way if you need me.
You know?
They got a hurricane.
Hey, Miss Lucas, how are you?
Fine,
How you
you?
guys doing? Good, how are you?
Good.
Oh, okay.
So does he spend the night with you?
Look, I don't know what's going on lately, but like if I try to send something on PDF, or if I wanna open a PDF, it asks me,
Oh, he's.
do you wanna open this as a PDF? Yeah, it's a PDF, why would I not
You have to
wanna open
go
it?
into your settings and change the setting to anytime it's a PDF.
She brought a bed and.
I keep doing that, and then it's fine until I shut my computer down and have to throw all over it.
And now it's not even giving me the option to open as, I have to re-download it.
I had a problem with that too.
Huh?
I had a problem with that.
Did you really? I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's something about,
I don't know what's going on.
when
I
you,
know that
see how when you sent it to me, it's,
the expenditure and the, revenue statement came directly from, Logix.
Yeah, it was, when I tried to open it, it was weird. It's like,
yeah.
so when I review it later this week, I'll find
Yeah.
a discrepancy, I'll call you.
That's bizarre, Michelle.
It is weird. Not that I would see one. It's too many numbers. How you doing, Miss Lou?
Fine, how about you?
Feel what?
That's good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. That shirt
Thank you.
and,
Thank you.
nice ball. That's about my favorite color.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
My daughter fixed me up.
Your daughter fixed you up?
Yeah, my daughter fixed me up. Good to have good children.
Mhm.
Good to have good children.
It is,
Mm-hmm.
it is. I kinda like mine.
I like yours too, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That I do.
I got a
In fact,
son and a daughter.
oh my, those colors I've got. I gotta order some more of it, but.
You doing okay, Chief?
Oh.
Quilts. I'm working on quilts for my.
Oh,
You take tomorrow off?
It's got that green.
yeah.
But you come in late.
You want some chocolate?
Working on the design. I
Mhm.
gotta get some more.
That's good.
A lot of caffeine and chocolate.
What you working on?
I know, I'm trying to help him.
Yes,
so-
I made that
Spare
one
time.
for my sister.
Oh, that's good. Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I like the old one better.
Oh, no, yeah.
You like the old one better too, don't you?
That color.
Yeah, I
that-
like this
Hey,
color.
John Wilson got,
this you won't really
he
like.
got carded at the, bank. I don't know, I mean, if you're trying, I mean, like, we're making a deposit, and they wanna see your driver's license.
It's your garage.
Well, I got a little shed.
Shed in
Well, I
back.
say
In full
little shed.
uniform.
Mhm.
right,
14 by
his
28.
car.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
That's nice. We got clean ours out. When I moved last year, I still got stuff in there. I'm gonna get me
My other shed is, we won't talk about that.
I'm gonna get me one of them stickers from Nash County. I was too lazy going there today. I'm gonna pay taxes, but I'm gonna get me a sticker and I'm gonna carry it to the dumpster. Clean it out. If I haven't used it, I didn't use it when I, what, 30-some years? Then brought some stuff over, haven't used it now, so it's time for it, yeah.
It's very true.
Now, you're gonna need that thing as soon as you get rid of it. You're gonna be like, oh man, I should've got rid of it.
That's what we need to clean up.
It's a pleasure to see you.
I need to clean out some stuff.
Yeah, but as an attorney, you don't often hear that.
Oh, no. No. Nope.
Everybody said they were coming tonight?
Yeah, Brent's not coming, he's out of town, but
He's out of town,
everybody
yeah.
else is, yeah, I mean, he's traveling, everybody else is coming.
Right.
Something missing this chair.
He does a lot of traveling, doesn't he?
Yes, we're missing a chair.
He does.
There's a chair in the back.
Oh.
The depot, it's gonna be a caboose, or is there gonna be an extra raised or added caboose? Okay.
Hello.
Cheers, cheers.
I mean, I couldn't really see it.
Madam Finance
I did bring it
Officer,
up,
how you
but I
doing?
just, it's too hard to see on my screen, so I just figured I'd.
Welcome.
Well, you're gonna show it tonight, I'll see it, yeah.
How are you doing back there? Hey, Miss Pam.
Oh,
Control.
Bro.
Zooms in and out.
Hello.
okay, yeah.
Neighbors.
I figured too, if we were seeing it tonight, then I was gonna just kinda see it, but, because for one of the, I guess the reason I was asking is, one of those views that you didn't,
Who's coming?
one of the views
Which
that,
one?
it didn't seem like it was there, it didn't seem
Coming
like it
or
was there.
coming, Brent
It
is
may
trying.
not, show up.
I mean, like, they were showing like the back of the building, but you really won't be able to see the back of the building, because there'll be a caboose there. Or is that, that's,
So,
Looks like it, doesn't it? No, it's the remains of the cheeseburger being wolfed on the way here.
so here, let's,
so I guess that's what,
Great healthiness.
yeah, it's not showing the caboose in the elevation
but is the caboose on this side or the other side?
on this side.
Okay, that's fine.
So, this
Well, because
elevation,
the other side's flush
Right.
with the street just.
you can see the elevation, which is on the south side, has the ramp.
Thank you, welcome.
This is Main Street side.
But you really won't see that.
Smiling mighty big today, I'll be it for you. Smiling mighty big, you got something to see.
Walking out this door, you're gonna be.
No?
It was good,
Which will be taking
good. How many people?
the mid portion of the building.
I said I know it's gonna be, you got your.
And it's wired down.
I said I knew it was gonna be.
Hey, 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 hey.
It'll be cooler out.
Welcome. Welcome, you made it.
How are you, Mr. Mayor?
How's it going?
All right. We're live, by the way.
What's
Just
that?
Want everyone to know we're live.
Okay. That's wonderful. Glad to know it. We got a few minutes before we get started on the meeting tonight. Starts right at 7, so thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. And commissioners, thank you all for being in attendance as well. Madam Finance Officer, Mr. Manager, and Town Attorney, thank you all for being here. Lots of exciting things that are happening that, one of them is one of my favorites is gonna be, going over in the meeting tonight, so you're gonna enjoy that about the depot. So hang tight just a minute, we're gonna get the final things ready to go.
So we're live,
Yes, sir.
what are we live on?
YouTube.
Oh, I thought like Fox News or something. Like national broadcast.
If you do something wrong, you might be.
Huh?
If you do something crazy, you might end
I
up.
probably will be, huh?
Not quite yet.
So we're live on YouTube?
Yes, right. This is actually the live stream on YouTube, which is
that's Spring Hill NC?
Yes, sir.
So you go to YouTube, click in Spring Hill NC?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is one.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. That's-
I was noticing that, just a little bit. Everybody looks good. Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order, November the 4th, 2024. Commissioner Board meeting, if you'll please stand and face the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, if there are no agenda items and no questions about last month's minute, we can get a motion to approve the minutes and the agenda.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Continued items from last month's meeting is a consideration and approval of the project development agreement with Axiom Development LLC. I do not see anyone from Axiom. I noticed on that final page, it had the specifics. Do you want to give us some more information about that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I could ask everyone to please speak into their mics as well.
Yes, thank you.
So this is, as you said, Mr. Mayor, this is a continuation from last month's meeting. It's actually the draft development agreement. It's been reviewed by Attorney Edwards, and he had made some minor changes in the version that I think you see before you, that those changes have been made. I will say this, Mr. White, although I've discussed many of some of these details with him, has not had a chance to view this particular draft. So it's at the board's pleasure, but it could be continued tonight or adopted, either way. If he does have some changes that he would like to see, I would bring those obviously back to the board before the final agreement was consummated or executed.
It looked like right on the signature page was the bulk of the importance.
There's a lot of detail in the development agreement, and it's an interesting situation because much of the infrastructure has already been put in. It just needs to be inspected and certified, so there's that component. But in terms of how it was constructed, Bobby has been part of the inspection process all along. So, bless you.
Thank you.
Going forward, we would do it differently with another developer. Obviously, we would be much more hands-on right from the beginning. An agreement like this would be executed before the project. But even so, as I said, many of the terms have been adhered to, irrespective of where we are with everything. But you're right, Mr. Mayor, some of the details are left in that final page prior to the signature page.
It's good to see it formalized and written and kind of a precedence on using and a platform or a foundation to future development agreements. And so it's great to see it written out like this and be able to hold a copy of it. And I think it's well written. And I'm glad to hear that everything's been adhered to. That's great news.
So,
All
this
right.
is nitpicky, but there's a couple of typos on page 12 and page 13.
Thank you.
Like, if I can pull it up, I know that's nitpicky, but I know you want it to be right. I'm trying to scroll down and get there now. Let's see. Didn't you send it on Wednesday, Andrew? The packet? Yeah, right here.
So Commissioner Griffin, you said Article 12?
Page 12 and page 13. If I can pull it up, I can point them right out, right at the bottom of page, okay, you got it. Right at the bottom of page 12, I can't remember, maybe it was should have read more clearly to say any and it just had an A or something like that. Right here. Hold on just a minute.
Well, if we can't find it now, Commissioner Griffin, I'd
sure.
recommend if you just
yeah.
point it out, I'll be happy to fix those typos.
Okay.
And I appreciate you being so diligent with it.
I know, I don't mean to sound nitpicky,
No, I
but
don't think it is at
I
all, sir.
think that's important that it's,
Yep.
I know you would want it to be right.
No, of course.
Okay, so remaining fund, on the bottom of page 12, remaining funds will then, A, used against any amounts. I think it should be, remaining funds will then be used.
What article you're in?
E, closing utility account, page 12 of the,
I think you're on the,
That's a different agenda.
oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
just keep it there.
Yeah, just,
I'll keep
yeah,
it
just
right
keep it
here.
right there. Yeah, that is the utility policy. But still just as important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He said Mr. White hasn't had an opportunity to look at this yet.
No, not in this format, no. So I would recommend that, you know, if the board's comfortable holding it over one more month,
Now, I make a motion, we table the item, give Mr. White an opportunity to look at it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll be able to pick up on that next month. Moving right on to the next item, new items on the agenda. Consideration and adoption of budget amendment 25-03 police radios. And Madam Finance Clerk, if you'll tell us about the movements of the money?
Okay, the first one for the police radios, it's just this is a reimbursable grant. So we're gonna get the money back, but we just need to borrow it right now from our reserve money. And then, so that way we don't have to take it out of the operating budget, and then we'll just put it back as soon as it comes back in. And then the next one is, the monies that we got from the chamber for the police and the water and sewer salaries, and, we have to get a budget amendment for that, because
Okay,
move it into their salaries.
everything balanced out and budget fits in place, okay? Chief, congratulations on the radios. Do you want to add anything about that? I heard it was grant money. Okay, well, I'm glad we're going to be on the same communication platform as the rest of Nassau County, right? Okay, wonderful. So we've heard from Madam Finance Officer about these two budget amendments, and we can get a motion for both of them at the same time.
I make a motion, we approve budget amendments 2025-03 and 2025-04.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Consideration and adoption of amendment to personnel policy for donation of leave. Mr. Manager, I do not understand what donation of leave means.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So it's commonplace today in many municipal environments and elsewhere, other government agencies, to be able to donate a portion of your surplus leave for the purposes of another individual to be able to utilize for a longer-term illness. So that's one of the, unfortunately, that was one of the exclusions in the adoption of the personnel policy, and this would actually rectify that situation. You'll notice there's no fiscal impact to the town. This is from one individual to another and does not establish any type of a leave bank. So once that individual returns to work, the hours that were donated, any excess hours, would revert back to the donating individual. So it's kind of a wash in terms of how things are handled, but it does help out any staff member. And now that we've got a very able and dedicated staff, and now that we do have people who we want to actually retain, this would help retain somebody who was suffering a long-term illness or somebody in their family was suffering a long-term illness. So that's what this policy is all about.
Very nice consideration. We do have a good staff and appreciate the consideration you have for our staff members in this personnel policy. And just to clarify, whether it's 6 months or this new policy permits up to 12 months with 2,080 hours, all of that would be coming from the employees.
Individuals.
So,
Right.
Mine and Finance Officer, you would donate your sick time for this individual, and then you would not get it back if they used it. Is that correct?
That's correct. It literally is a donation.
But the person would be giving it freely.
Right. There's
It would
no,
be free, it would be freely, like I would be giving that to Nate freely. No one's making me do it. It would be something I wanted to.
right, there's specific language in there that prohibits coercion or harassment. There's specific language in there, if you note. It's a pretty lengthy policy. I think it's about 2.5 pages in total. And there's exclusions that you're not allowed to bank the leave. It reverts back to the individual donating if it's unused. So I think it's pretty wide-ranging and covers a lot of contingencies.
And then when it comes to like the approval from the 6-month to the 12-month mark, the 1040 to the 2080, that would still be pooled hours. It would be,
Right.
you would have to say, okay, employees, you're giving too much of your time, let's not, or let's all pitch in and give more time. Is that right?
The extension from 6 months beyond that is at the discretion of the manager and solely that person. It's not guaranteed. And yes, all those leave hours come from the individuals donating that leave. Nothing doesn't cost the town anything except some administrative time.
Truly compassionate policy. The only way it would work is compassion from personnel to the other. I think it's. Would you like to add anything? And Mr. Attorney, from attorney standpoint, I'll give you a moment to review it, or if you have any comments you'd like to make.
Yeah, I looked at it briefly, but that's all, no problems with it.
Okay,
Pretty standard.
okay. Thank you. Any questions from the commissioners, or we'll entertain a motion?
Make a motion of approving the amended section 26 of the town personnel policy.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration and adoption of customer service policy for utilities. This has been a long time coming to have everything in one place and a centralized format to make it extremely streamlined and easy. And tell us about it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is, currently we have a few loose sheets of paper here and there and some policies and things that have been done as past practice that have not been memorialized the way they should have been. This basically synthesizes all of that and goes beyond. It's pretty standard fare for the most part. It's what many utilities already have adopted. And so we have a practice here in Town Hall of treating everybody the same with the same policies. They just haven't been memorialized. And that's what this does. It basically ensures that when we tell people, no, everyone gets treated the same way, it's on a piece of paper and you can read it for yourself.
Very straightforward, very simple. I'm glad we have it. Any questions from the commissioners before we take a motion to approve?
Yeah, I had those changes. Remaining funds will then be used against any amounts. That's the bottom of page 12. And then,
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. So 12 to 13. All right. I will clarify that language.
and there's one somewhere on page 13. There's
And
no
if we-
reason to hold this up tonight for that.
It doesn't,
Yeah, we can go back and get that correct. It doesn't change the purpose of
Okay.
the purpose of it. So if you just check that out before you put it in the record, I think
Would you
that'd
like
be
to
good.
table it, Commissioner?
No, I don't
Okay.
want to table it. I'd make a motion, we approve the policy.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is consideration of approval of event permit for Christmas in Spring Hope. And do we have someone from the chamber that would like to speak? All right, all of you have the application in your packet. Would you like to add anything to the application?
I do want to just point out, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, that there will not be any street closings with Christmas and Spring Hope. The initial plan was to go across Main Street and Railroad Street to the other side, and subsequent to some of the policies that DOT has formally adopted requiring police presence, they didn't feel it was necessary for just a couple vendors to have to cross Pine Street. So that has, that's the only amendment that I can point out to the existing. There will be a horse-drawn carriage, which will make its way down Pine Street and then back up Ash.
Okay. All right. So minimal road closures. We'll still have the trolley. That's good news. I was thinking that was going to prevent that from happening, but that's great news. Thank you. And glad the chamber puts this on every year. It's a tremendous amount of work. All of these events are. I think only the people that are involved in volunteering for these events and helping organize them and then see the backside of them know how much work it is. So thank you for the people that put these events together, chamber and town and other volunteers. If that's all for this, we can get approval for this permit.
Make a motion to approve Christmas and Spring Hope event permit by chamber.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, let's view the Spring Hope Depot plans for our wonderful train depot right here in front of us in downtown. And we have some additional great news on top of the caboose that Commissioner Griffin helped us figure out. We have something. I'll let Andrew show it to us.
Sorry, I apologize. It times out after a certain period of time. So, all right. So these are from, first of all, let me just give a little bit of information in the way of introduction. So Alliance Architecture has gotten or had gotten a head start. They felt confident enough in being awarded the contract that they actually got a little bit of a head start on the platform drawings. So what you see before you is from a progress set, which is only a small sampling of the full complement of both architectural and engineering drawings. So we'll start out with the floor plan. You have a floor plan not just for the depot. And if you recall, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, that you had given an approval to this basic concept of this floor plan with a large gathering space, the network room, which obviously has to remain because it has historic significance, the restrooms and the catering area on the western portion of the building, what used to be the ticketing office and post office. So what used to be a rail car has been scaled back to reflect a caboose, the scale of a caboose, and the existing deck remains. So here you see it with the proposed platform and the restrooms on the platform, and you see those on the far right. They will be self-contained. You will be able to isolate those. They can be used for events or they can be shut down completely. The platform is completely open. It's a completely open area. So it'll be accessed by that small bridge connector, and that will have an opportunity for courtyard space in between.
Of course, the bathrooms will be closed in though.
Yep, and you can see that, that's a good point, Commissioner Griffin. If you look at, and see if I can zoom in a little bit on that. Bear with me while I. Can you all see that? All right, so I don't know if you can make out where my pointer is. Right here, that is a riser room for this fire suppression system for the entire complex. So it has to have dedicated space, and that's what that space is right there. This is what can be a self-contained restroom area. So there'll be a fold-down door right here that can close that area off completely. And then, of course, as I said, completely unfettered gathering space here. It becomes clear in the elevation pictures below. Let me make it smaller. So here is the depot, which pretty much remains as it is. Obviously, it'll be rehabilitated, but you can see that in this area, the space that will be for the caboose, which will be immediately adjacent. This is the elevation that faces Main Street, southern elevation. And this ramp will be concrete and metal. So it'll be pretty sturdy. You can see the elevations of the platform. This is from the actual, from the open side. You can see the roll down doors. So this is from the gathering space side, and this is from the Pine Street side. You can see there's no, it will be below the requirement for code to require railings, so it'll be completely open.
How big is that platform?
If I
Remember-
recall, I don't recall, let's see if they have the dimensions. 10, 20, 30,
Same width as the building, right?
Yeah, I just wonder how long it's gonna go.
90 by 30, if I recall correctly, Commissioner Griffin.
That'll be a big space.
Yeah. If I recall correctly, 90 by 30. And you can see on the far right-hand side of the upper elevation, that's where that ramp will come down from the deck of the depot.
In the architectural accuracy of the Triad Alliance, when they were here, they were looking at the different types of moldings, and they were very specific. They had done a lot of these depot restorations. That's what they focused in and concentrated on. And so I was impressed with the knowledge of the older gentleman, which it would take someone older to really
Mr. David
possess.
Gall. Yeah, Mr. David Gall.
Yes.
Yes, he, as the historical architect on the project, has much experience in North Carolina with the rehabilitation of these depots. Yeah, and he has basically nailed down details like extinguisher boxes and things to try and make them complementary to the building. Modern touches that he's trying to make look complementary and historic. So it's, and he has constant communication with the SHPO's office to make sure that the project is goes off without too many hitches.
Very expensive to do it back properly, but it'll be nice to have it.
It's an exciting project. I know we don't see a lot going on right now, but it will be shortly. Actually, town will have a lot going on next year.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot
Yeah.
of things going on. Yeah, 2025 is going to be a busy year.
Appreciate you having these sketches out here for us to view, elevations and plans. And I think it's a wonderful thing that's happening to our downtown. I think it's phenomenal. It's really impressive what the commissioners and the staff and the team has pulled off to get this here. All right, so we'll move right on into reports, and we'll start with the police chief. Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
This month we had 4 reported incidents, 254 total calls for service, 79 traffic stops, 33 security checks, 10 traffic accidents, 4 non-chargeable domestics, 7 disturbance fight calls, 13 investigations with 11 closed.
Okay. I saw one of your prior officers, and he misses you guys. He moved in, Gwaltney, and he misses it.
Yeah.
And yeah, he does. He really does. I think it's a little busy over there in Nashville.
Yeah.
You're still sizing up. It looks like you're still getting bigger since last month. So you're about there.
Yeah.
Appreciate what you do, Chief. Thanks for always looking and hunting. The trucks and the Hummer and stuff that you've got us. Thanks for always finding stuff like that for us.
Absolutely.
All right, Chief. Code enforcement, Mr. Manager, do you have some updates on the?
I actually do. Mr. Lucas had a unscheduled planning, well, a scheduled, but a special planning board meeting. I think he called it a special planning board meeting. So he couldn't join us tonight. We do have his report before us. I would add that Attorney Edwards, Sean, and I were supposed to meet last month. We couldn't get our schedules to coordinate, but we actually have a meeting scheduled for next week, and that is to discuss fines and other legal actions to start to compel some of these commercial properties to comply. I have noticed recently some of the properties have been cleaning up around town, not nearly enough, but there's been some activity.
Okay. Thank you. And rolling right into the manager's report, do you want to add some highlights?
I'd be happy to, or if y'all have questions for me, I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have. I can pull it up.
Do you have any kind of, I'm not sure if this is up there or not, but just kind of preliminary rough estimate timeline of when we may experience some major road closures for pipes?
Well, I can't give you a definitive timeline, but I can tell you this. We received more comments from DEQ on the drawings. The revisions were submitted by the Wooten Company, and we're just waiting on the final permit to be issued. I would anticipate that's probably the last round of revisions. Once we get the permit, it's just a matter of updating the bid docs and taking it out to bid. So it'll be early, it'll probably be late winter when the project actually gets awarded, and early spring when we're actually under construction.
It's fantastic. It's wonderful. All right. Any questions from the commissioners? Anyone from the chamber that would like to give us an update? And if not, we'll start with final comments. Commissioner Gainey?
None.
Commissioner Lucas?
No.
Commissioner Griffin?
None.
And Commissioner Tony?
No.
All right. Well, thank you, commissioners, for being here tonight. If we can get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming as well. Thank you for being here.
Huh? Quick, man, quick.
Good to
Hold on a second, I have to stop the live stream.